You feel all your system is vibrating inside with your spine, and actually you can direct the energy to the pineal gland and release DMT. Many times I'm getting very, very spaced out on other dimensions.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am with Ulaach Tez. How are you?
I am fine, thank you, Brother Luca. I'm very happy to be here.
Very nice indeed. So Ulaach Tez is an artist, a singer, a nomad, a traveler, a yoga teacher, and somebody who had a fascinating history so far, and I'm very excited to talk about your life. Can you tell us a little bit more about your story so far?
I am Tatar Mongol. Father side from Crimean Tatar. But during, towards the end of the World War II, my father's family got deported to Central Asia by the Stalinist regime, and they ended up near Tuva and migrated to Mongolia, which originally they come from, and there my father met my mother, and then when I was 2 years old only, my father got a good job because he had just finished school and got a good contract to work for oil company, from oil companies located in the Gulf region. And the beginning of my life, I lived in like a compound where people for Aramco company work all together. And then from this locked up country, or the country where there's less human rights, less freedom, less freedom in general, more restrictions. I always wanted to be free. And only freedom I felt that when I go to the steppe every summer and feel the open space and horses riding and feel very free. And bodybuilding, actually, when I start doing gym, I start home. Normally, with concrete, with some water bottles, whatever weights there. And my idol was, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had his pictures all over my walls, and I idolized him. I idolized a guy like coming from nothing and traveling to the US and making something of himself. So US was actually my dream. I wanted to be in the United States. I felt like I wanted to experience the feeling of being in the most powerful, most advanced country, the pinnacle of all civilizations. I wanted to be there. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know how to go there. It was like, okay, I watch movies, I want to go there, but I knew something will draw me there. Luckily, I joined the gym eventually. I got some money from, Sagantsar, our national holiday. They give some money. And I joined the gym. Just to know, never been in a gym before. Fancy gym I go in Jeddah. Mm-hmm. And there I met two people who work for the USGS, United States Geological Survey. My father had a lot of books in the drawer with cassettes, but he never used to learn English. Meanwhile, all the kids are playing Atari games, and new came, Atari at that time. I was just with the books, listening. Walkman at that time was Walkman, listening to cassettes, repeat again, and I started having an English accent. I didn't know, it was like English book, like English from England. So
British, yeah?
British, so I was like, well, you've got a problem. I haven't got it. I haven't got a clue. Have you got a Grey Poupon, something like that. So I had like a little bit of British, obviously, in fact, indeed, these words. So I had like a really proper English guy. And I was fascinated with languages anyways. Anytime I hear any language, I associate like some Filipino guy. I say, how do you say hello in your country? Kamusta ka? So I pretend, I copy exactly how the accent, how the impression, how the face. I found this is very connecting to people when I speak Italian, I make gestures with hands, and I'm like, even a Sicilian accent.
Yeah, that's an accent from Sicily also. Yeah. It's like mirroring, you're mirroring the culture.
Yeah, exactly. I mirror, I feel it, every impression. Che fascista, con lui, non forget about. The feeling, because in our culture, every language is another person. So if you speak two languages, you become two people.
Oh, wow.
If you speak three, you become three. If you speak more, you become, because it really is also personality change. It's a even when I was in the United States, when I got Grant, I come into the story, the guys in the gym, they thought I was very smart, so they offer me through U.S. governmental grant to take few exams, and I could qualify to study in the United States.
Awesome. Where do you go? Which part?
So first thing, when I got my student visa, I-20, my father was very negative. So he told me, oh, you go to America, come on, you young kid, who the hell gonna give you visa to go there? So my father is like the negative effect in our family. He always challenge and say it's impossible. And instead of listening to him, for me it was challenge. It was like, okay, you say I can't do, but watch me. I will do it. And somehow I always do what I manifest since a young age, very young age. I went to the American University, which was very prestigious university in the US. I stayed in the dorms, so a few doors down from me in the same dormitory was a princess from Jordan. I heard. I met her, but it was not like friends, but I know she was a princess from Jordan, daughter of King Hassan. And many sons and daughters of ambassadors, politicians, like these governmental people. I really didn't like it, honestly. The environment with politician kids, very like a spoiled life. I had a bicycle, and I see my classmate come with a convertible, brand new Mercedes, and barely 17, 18. So there was like kind of like another kind of feeling that I don't belong there, really. It's not my place. So I had a friend in the dormitory from Portugal, and he felt the same, and we talk about it, and he said, maybe you can transfer your grant and get a scholarship in Oklahoma. He was going to Oklahoma. I said, oh, what university? They say it's Sooner University, University of Oklahoma in Norman. And I just looked at it, I applied, and I went there. Well, sir, where do you come from? Well, we got a mosey on down all the way to Oklahoma City. I'll be damned. Now, this country is, this part of the country is totally different than where you experience in Washington, D.C. You got all those politicians, damn it. So I try to listen very carefully because it's long, and I go to the gym, I ask the guy, are you finished? Well, I'm fixing to finish. So I learned fixing means I'm about to soda pop, many different vocabulary, but I caught this accent too, so I can make a southern accent. My dream was go to California, actually. I was like, I gotta be in California. Arnold Schwarzenegger, my idol, is there. I gotta go meet him. I go to Vegas. From Vegas, I go to Los Angeles, and I continue my studies. First, I study West LA College, and then I went to Santa Monica College, UCLA. I was studying to be a doctor, actually. So I had 4 years of medicine until also I was continuing bodybuilding, but then I go to the gym. And at the gym of Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he works out, World's Gym in Venice. And while I was there, I talking to some guy who wanted, just talking casually, and the guy happens to be a director of a movie, I didn't know. And I told him how much I admire Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Arnold Schwarzenegger just walks in.
Okay, so you are in the US now, and you had already quite a lot of experiences, you know, going from country to country, changing places, and it's quite already an extraordinary, you know, early life, if you want.
I had a bodybuilder friend from Germany, and he had a problem with immigration, U.S. immigration. He, you know, with the Western Europeans, what they do is the immigration INS catches those guys, put in a hotel, and say, okay, buy a ticket and go back to your country. It's not like they put in a jail and deport. It was more civil back in the day. But this guy escaped from the hotel and came to my house. And I don't even know him that long. I just, you know, train with him, maybe hang out on the beach sometime. He came and he told me that he had a problem with the immigration and he needed a place to stay. He came from Texas and I was living alone. I said, okay, crash on the couch a few days, and when you find yourself a place, get out of here. So I was like trying to be nice. And I was actually studying, like that was exam time, so I was very focused. He introduced me to another friend, a Swiss guy, and said they wanted to buy some property in the US for his house, something, and they needed a bank account to wire money. And yeah, shit, I fell into that trap.
That sounds dodgy to start with, yeah?
Yeah, they never told me. They told me they're gonna send me like $20,000 on my account. They don't have an account. They don't have that time. Maybe they don't have all these financial instruments like we have now. They say, you know, we don't have Social Security number. You got the Social Security. You got an account. We send it. You give it to us, and that's like a favor. But I've received more money than I expected. It was not even close to 20,000. It was way more than 20,000. And I was shocked. And I said, hey, why you send me so much money? You said 20,000. They said, oh, the house is expensive, bing, boom, bam, bam. And I'm a kid, you know, I don't know if I have finance, nothing yet. So I go withdraw the money from the bank. They told me, you got to do this IRS because I want to take more than $10,000. They got to fill some forms and shit. And I was like, fuck, I got to go to school, man. I'm studying. I don't have time to fill up forms and take 10,000 until I empty my account, which was loaded. Anyways, I told the guys, I'm going to send the money back. What is this shit? They say, oh, no, we pay you for everything. I said, no, even if you pay me, I don't need your money. Even on the phone conversation, I say, look, I don't need your money. This is not for me, man. I'm going to school, and I don't like to stand on lines in the bank. But the money was already there. So right before I go to solve this problem, I find one morning, federal agents bust my house.
Like the FBI? No.
FBI.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
FBI, get down on the ground now. Bing, boom, bam. You're gonna go to jail a long time. Who's this guy? Who's that guy? I'm not talking. I don't know. Because I don't want to say something wrong. I learned from movies that don't ever talk. Just get a lawyer. Anyways, they sent me to Metropolitan Detention Center. After 2 weeks, I feel I'm still there, and I'm, you know, the jail system is very difficult in U.S. You gotta belong to some groups, and there are many hidden laws. And I was big, tough, so everybody wanted me to be in their gang. The Swiss government asked to extradite me to Switzerland, which I never been to.
Why Switzerland?
Because money came from there.
Ah, okay, that adds a little bit more dodginess as well. So
Yeah.
Swiss bank account. Okay, okay.
The guy was Swiss,
Ah, okay, okay.
the one of the guys. So I ended, 3, 4 months passed. I spent part of it in the hole, you know, isolation, because I got in a lot of fights. I didn't take shit from nobody, man. I fight to death. I had really, really tough fights in a cell that one guy got to come out. Like, you know, UFC, this is even worse because there is no referee, nobody stop. Even guards like to watch fights. So I always won, I tell you. I never lost a fight in jail. I lost some fight that came like a sucker punch, you know, not telling you.
Yeah,
Unexpected.
like ambush.
Ambush, yeah. Ambush happened to me. But when one-on-one, when like, come on, always God helped me that I get some superpowers and I always came on top. Anyways, I don't like fighting anymore, but sometimes you have to fight for, especially if that's about your integrity, about your manlyhood, about your power. If you not fight, then you cause bigger damage later psychologically. Anyways, after I get out and then I go back to the States, this time I go to Idaho, Idaho, Pocatello. Mm-hmm. There I had a girlfriend, like she stuck with me all this time. And she lived in Idaho, so I go to Idaho. Idaho was another story. Anyways, from Idaho, finally, bing, 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 I'm cutting really short, there's a lot in the middle. I go to the Wall Street. From there, I take a big exam, very difficult, Series 7. I get a license, SEC, I start making crazy money.
Like a stockbroker or what?
Stockbroker, yeah.
Stocks, yeah, you were trading? Or?
Yeah, stocks, bond, options, everything.
Oh.
Yeah, I had like full license, you know. So I worked for a firm, bing, 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 but then I saw the devil's eye directly there in the Wall Street. I saw that money is never enough. I see millionaires, even billionaires, drop hundreds of millions on my lap to play with, and they get mad for losing just a fraction, very fraction of the money. They go crazy. So, and I see brokers making a lot of money, but they're burnt out using too much drugs and gambling and spending money like there is no tomorrow. So easy come, easy go, and eventually they burn out and they end up in a horrible shape, most of them. Mm-hmm. So I saw this coming, I experienced this area, and then then September 11th happened. I became an antique dealer. I start restore antiques. I have very good artistic abilities to restore furniture. Mm-hmm. Actually, I go to Europe, Italy first, and then Greece, Turkey, North Africa, slowly, you know, sabai, traveling, and then of course I eventually wanted to come to Asia. So I wanted to go to Mongolia. I want to see, you know, I wanted to motorbike ride all the way to Mongolia from Istanbul to Mongolia. Mm-hmm. And at that time I was teaching English in Istanbul. I also taught English just to make money to move around. And then one of my students keep telling me, you know, there is this TV show, why don't you apply? They accept foreigners, boom, boom, boom. And then boom, next thing you know, I go there and they just pick me and put me on TV. And all of a sudden, boom, I became very famous.
Doing what?
It's bullshit program. I never even watched TV and I didn't know what's going on. And that was the funny part, and my accent, I was learning, I pick up very fast. So people love my Turkish accent. And I was a little bit funny, and I didn't care about there are many sensitive issues there you cannot say on TV, but I didn't know, so I say it, and people like even loved me more. And the TV wanted to keep me, but I saw this fame, I couldn't walk the streets, and I wanted just to get out of there. So I felt very, even though I got offers to do bigger shows and be on. I played in 2 sitcoms. I played Italian guy. I have the videos from famous sitcoms, really popular. And they picked me to play Italian guy two times.
You are famous in Koh Phangan because of your Sunday evening shows that you do, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's quite fascinating. So, can you tell us a little bit more about your style of singing? When did you get into it, first of all, and how you developed it, and what it is?
In Mongolian culture, Central Asian culture, even in Kırım, Kazakhstan, all these regions, they do throat singing. So the first time I heard throat singing, my uncle, actually my mother's uncle, was singing in Natam, like a festival, where we do wrestling, bow and arrow, horse riding, and also singing. So I heard my uncle, my mother's uncle, we call him uncle, and he was very good throat singer. And when I heard him, I was fascinated, like how this sound can come from a person. And why nobody told me about this? And I became his big admirer. And he loved me anyways. He very close to me. So he teach me techniques and told me to do like this, breathe, ping, boom, boom, a lot of hints, techniques. Mm-hmm. And there I become, I can make some sounds, nothing special. But when I go to the United States, I start developing because my voice, when you're growing up, change. And I did one performance, but it was unfortunately not good because a lot of people didn't understand this kind of sound. They thought it was too much in the dark and maybe devilish or, like satanic.
Okay, a little strange.
Yeah, so not many people like it. Then I withdrew a little bit. I didn't want to do in public anymore. So I just do for myself in nature, just to heal myself, to like self-meditation,
Sure. I think singing is a great way to express emotions, and you feel very good when you sing, don't you, afterwards? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's for me, it's saved me from many difficult situations. I mean, I owe singing, especially throat singing, because singing different. There is a singing outside, and there's more inside. So you singing to yourself instead of singing for the outside.
And the vibrations must be so strong, right?
Yeah, vibration very strong. When you hear, like even the low sounds, it's different vibration, and high sound. You feel all your system is vibrating inside with your spine, and actually you can direct the energy to the pineal gland and release DMT. Many times I'm getting very, very spaced out on other dimensions after practice and directing the energy. And I feel this really saved me a lot and made me see many things in life that I normally not see. And I experienced DMT even before knowing what is ayahuasca, what is mushroom, what is any of these psychedelic external things. I already experienced this. And I know, even I took ayahuasca before and it didn't do nothing to me. I just felt like I was, when I was singing, because I was singing during ayahuasca also. So for me, it was like nothing out of the ordinary. Mm-hmm. Even when I took mushrooms, my singing actually, I do some sounds I discover just by practicing, It's a lot of practice, need a lot of practice, especially Hume. Hume is imitating nature. It's different. The one I just did, Hechra. Hume is more like this sound. you can feel the sound. It sounds very, very spiritual, very strong. And if you do this for hours and hours in the nature, around fire, around, it's just by itself is DMT, and many people feel this. And I heal people with this. First, I start doing this without knowing. I see one lady limping going to the temple in Mongolia in Karakorum. No, not Karakorum. Yeah, Karakorum, Ertenezo. I go there and I see one lady walking with beautiful smile and she's limping. And instinctively I kneel on her knees and I start do throat singing on her knee. Instinctively, without asking. Woman was surprised by my action first, and then she start walking inside the temple, and she come back. She say, "Look, I have no pain." Surprise. And she opened her bag, she want to give me money. I said, no, not, I don't do this for money.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Koh Phangan? I mean, you've been traveling all over the world. You had a very adventurous lifestyle, doing so many things and switching from one to the next almost seamlessly. And now you've been in Koh Phangan for a couple of years, is that right? Since COVID, or?
Yeah, it's already past 2 years. It's very unbelievable. Like, I never stayed so long in one place like this.
Wow. And I know that, of course, you do throat singing here. And why Koh Phangan particularly? What do you like about the island? And what are your plans?
I came to Thailand again from Ulaanbaatar. I landed to Bangkok, and my initial idea to go explore more Cambodia. But then some friend in Koh Phangan, living in Koh Phangan, say, "Oh, come here, it's not too crowded. It's not like party island like you think. Full moon, there's another side." Bam, bam, bam. And I said, "Man, this island, a couple of people in a row told me go there." So I thought it was a sign, like I gotta at least see what's going on. What is this Koh Phangan thing? So I took a boat in my initial thinking, maybe 4 or 5 days, have a nice day, go another location where I like more local people, I'm a local people man. Then I come here, I see actually people interested in throat singing. I didn't know that there is some demand, especially Who band. Many strong bands, powerful bands came to the scene in 2019, 2020. They blew up, so people were familiar with throat singing more. And I had offers to do this, to do that, to teach. And I say, let me stay a little bit longer I go, a little bit longer I go. I delay a little bit. I got some dengue, kept me. So I said, oh, maybe this is a sign that I gotta stay a little bit longer. And I was leaving to Nepal, actually, when COVID struck. I already have a plan with my brother Anup. There is a world festival of organic music in Pokhara, so I was ready to go there, but then tickets canceled, the whole organization canceled the event, and I just stay here,
What's your plan now? You're going to be here for a little longer, and then what's the next destination? You don't know yet?
See, the thing is, no plan, but I know one plan. 2 years I have not been in the land I love so much, the open space, the horses, Arik, the horse milk, the
Mongolia.
Culture, Mongolia I miss. So in the coming summer, spring, summer, autumn, I plan to be there.
Okay.
And then maybe come back.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for this little chat and learning a little bit about your background, which is really fascinating indeed. And we'll see.
That's maybe 1% of it. Thank you, brother, for inviting me and finding my life interesting and worth storytelling to other people to learn something. Thank you.